On December 13th, our truck shut down while towing on I-77. We were stuck in 3 lanes of traffic flying past us, and we were there for 11 hours.
So if you own a diesel truck, this is something you need to understand. So what we're asking is that you watch this video from beginning to end. Please share this video with all your social media to get the word out so everybody knows what happened.
Asking you up front to go ahead and give us a thumbs up on this video because it's a very important issue that could happen to not only RVers, but also to you. Okay, so I'm recording this because this is our first time in 5 years we've ever had an issue with the truck while pulling the camper. We are heading from North Carolina to South Carolina. Super dangerous with cars flying by. If we pulled off a little bit sooner, Bob was trying to make it to an exit, but we ended up getting stuck here by the guardrail.
I'm Bob.
I'm Barb. Together we make up
HetteshWorld. This is not our normal video.
We normally do RV repairs, trips and ticks, and exciting travel videos. But this is an exciting video, but it's in a whole different league. So stay tuned. So this one fateful day, it all started with a brand new app that we had downloaded, something called Upside. So we had discovered the Upside app, and Upside app is pretty much a place where you can go to different places like restaurants and gas stations and grocery stores and receive a discount after you purchase something from there. And this was our very first time. Now I'm going to do a note right here that the Upside app is not responsible for what happened to us and has been really great on savings and discounts as we've gone through this whole program. But we have never been to Murphy's Oil. We usually go to like Love's Travel Stops or Travel Centers of America.
Yeah, where our EFS card works. That's normally where we get discounted fuel at. That's our best deal on the road.
So we decided, let's just take the truck and go to Murphy's at Walmart and try it.
And get a discount.
Yeah, so we basically spent $88 in fuel to have what happened happen. Got fuel on December 12th, and then on December 13th, we were leaving Thousand Trails, heading to South Carolina, and then going to head to Florida. But then this happened.
This took us on to I-77 going south between Charlotte and Columbia, South Carolina. The truck suddenly popped up an error which we had never seen before. Diesel exhaust over temperature.
We didn't really know what was going on, and we knew we needed to pull over as soon as possible. So I start looking out the window, and there's all this dark gray exhaust coming out of the pipe, like shooting out like crazy.
And we were towing the camper at this point. This shutdown happened suddenly. We did not have any time to get to a safe spot.
We were right up against the guardrail, like right against it, with 3 lanes of traffic on the one side.
Yeah. So we only made it 58 miles from getting diesel fuel from Murphy Oil.
Since we knew we were going to be stuck on the road, we figured something was wrong. We thought we better call 911 and make sure they, one, know we're there, why are we there, what's going on. So we ended up calling roadside assistance and also 911 to let them know, and they transferred us to like the, I don't know what they're called, the people who patrol the highway. So
state police.
Yeah, the state police. So they may stop by and talk to us and check on us, but who knows how long it's going to be. So it's 11:01 right now. We talked to roadside assistance maybe 10 minutes ago, and then we're trying to maybe get the truck taken to a Ford dealership, and then we're also going to have to find a campground to get the RV taken to. So today is totally jacked up. And then Bob said he does think that it could be fuel, which would be really bad on Walmart if that's what it is. It's a place we normally don't get fuel either. We were trying something different. But we'll see. We'll see what we find out. The state cop came out. He was really nice.
Yep.
And, you know, he said he'd keep us on the monitor and the radar, and you know, they would be checking on us. Now, no, nobody ever came back again.
The truck would not restart. It was in a safe mode. I just wanted to let you know, in 88,000 miles of using this truck, we have never, ever had any type of error pop up except for maybe one time a low fuel light or a low windshield solvent light. Other than that, the only thing we've ever done to this truck was routine maintenance. While sitting on the side of the road, I decided to check my Ford app because I know it was making a noise in my pocket.
It was like, hello, check me out. So what popped up was...
Service engine soon. Diesel particulate cleaning. Service engine soon warning. Diesel exhaust over temperature.
Sounds kind of scary. At least 2 of them did for sure. So if you watch our channel, you already know how Bob is. Bob's already, thinking and moving and how do we fix this? How do we get off of here? He's in a focus mode. I'm in I think a full panic mode because I'm super scared about being on the freeway.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate we were able to get off the road.
Yeah.
And because the truck gave us no power, but we were able to at least get off into the shoulder. So after the Ford app, I tried to figure out what was going on. So the very first thing I thought, maybe reset the battery.
He's got the batteries unhooked. We're trying to get it reset. And then the goal would be to get it backed up past the guardrail so we can get over. You know how good he is at all this stuff, and he's super stressed right now. So we must remain calm, not to make it worse. It would be okay if we were a little bit more over. We're probably gonna have to call Roadside assistance. Something I never ever wanted to experience in my life. Ooh, maybe it's gonna start. Maybe it's gonna start. Please start, please start, please start. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Blue Angel. He thought that the issue might be the gas we got. We got gas, the discounted gas. We got Upstart ad at Murphy's Gas at Walmart yesterday. He thought that might have something to do with it. Come on, baby. It wasn't doing this before. At least it's doing this. Come on, girl. You can do it.
No start, but I could get at least electric to our flashers and our lights. At this point, we were attached to the camper, so we need the lights on the back of the camper to give us some visibility on this very busy interstate.
We definitely knew we had to be towed at that point, so the first thing we did before trying to even get that set up was get out all the emergency gear.
Yeah, we had all the safety gear. We just needed to find it.
Yeah, that's the thing is we're pretty smart about everything we think we need to have, but then when it happens, you're like, oh my God, where did I put that 5 years ago? Is it under the seat in the back? Is it in a compartment in the camper? But luckily we did find it pretty quickly. I kind of had to figure out how to get us off the road. Let's just say that once again, this is another thing that I wasn't prepared as well as I should have been. You know how you get your insurance and we're good. At least I had it in my phone, but then I'm looking at it and I had an old one and I'm thinking, oh, which one is which goes to where? Which goes to what? No, you got to really mark stuff in your phone because in an emergency you don't have time to be screwing around with that kind of stuff. Here's the lowdown. We have an RV warranty, which does provide towing for the RV and possibly the truck if we're totally hooked up. The truck is covered under Hartford insurance for towing separate, and then we also have Foremost insurance, which would tow the RV. So then I have these 3 options that I narrowed down. I had no idea that this was going to turn into the ordeal that it that it became. But first I thought, let's call the RV warranty. They've been so good. Anytime we needed any kind of warranty on the RV, that they've been really good at helping us. So I called them and it was a nightmare. They said they didn't understand. I was on the phone forever talking to them, and finally they said, well, let us try to find someone and we'll send it to you when we get the chance. So we waited, and then I kept calling and they couldn't find anyone, and then I said, you know what, I'm just going to try to call Hartford and I'm going to try to call Foremost and see if I can get this up because the other company's not calling us back. So we canceled everything with RV AmeriCare because they weren't able to help us at all.
They were horrible. Plus it went to like a foreign office that broken English at best. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah. some other place.
It was outsourced way beyond our borders.
So then next we contacted Hartford, and Hartford, I will say, was top notch on the truck.
Yeah.
They scheduled it. They had us pay $160 like co-payment, which later we ended up getting back because they said we should never have had to pay that. But they scheduled it, they arranged it, and it was no big deal. And it took 4 hours for them to show up, but that was great. And in the meantime, we had to do kind of like a lot of research. And the first place we researched is where the heck are we going to take the truck? And we ended up taking it to Rock Hill Ford in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So that was our first decision of where to take a vehicle. Next, then I contacted Foremost. And for some reason, I had no idea in my head that the truck was one insurance and the RV was another. So that's something I need to remedy for the future. But with Foremost, I contacted them, and you get a little AI, and a little AI is really nice. Really nice. That's the nicest person you get at Foremost when you call the roadside assistance. So you call, and the first lady was nice. She, took all the information, put in that we had a fifth wheel hitch, that they would take care of us. And then they send you a text message, and you're supposed to be able to follow it, and it kind of tells you where they are and what's going on. And that's where the nightmare began. So while we were waiting for something to happen with everything, we need to determine where we're going to take the RV, because the RV is not broken. It's going to have to go to a campground. It's going to have to stay somewhere. So we ended up choosing KOA Journey Charlotte in Fort Hill, South Carolina. And I'm really glad that we did. We don't normally stay at KOAs, but this turned out to be one of the best decisions we made because of how helpful they were to us from that moment on till the moment we ended up finally leaving and moving on.
Waiting on the interstate to be towed.
Yeah, that was our life.
4 hours on the road. Finally, the Hartford tow truck did show up. Of course, at this point, we have 2 batteries on this diesel truck. Both batteries had died because of all the electrical that was running. We had all the flashers running, lights on the camper and the truck, and it did drain the batteries. Yeah, these batteries are fairly new. They're AGMs, but they just run down from all the power that we were consuming with the lighting and flashers and stuff. And remember, we are on I-77, so we're trying to be as safe as we can. Very busy highway. So when our record driver showed up for the truck, it was a flatbed. I tried to explain to him, but he had little English language.
What?
He just didn't know what we were talking about. But I was trying to show him that we have to jump the truck, not to start it, but to get the out of park. We have to get the vehicle out of park to get it onto the wrecker.
He don't understand.
He had no idea. He had a jump box. The jump box he had was not, he didn't know how to really hook it up very well. He's hooking up on the smallest wire. I finally took over and hooked it up to the batteries. We were able to put it in neutral and get it on the truck. And then the next thing, he's trying to pull it up onto the flatbed. He can't steer it, so I have to get in the truck and steer it and drive it up the flatbed. He had no chocks to chalk the tires.
We had chocks.
So we had chocks, and we let him borrow those until we could get it on the truck, because he had to readjust his chains. And then after he got it hooked up, the interstate was so busy, he only wanted to strap the passenger side, not the driver's side, till we got to the next exit. He swore he would attach the other side to take it to our Ford dealership.
So they've got it on the tow truck, but as you can see, they've got our yellow things under there to take the pressure off because they're having trouble getting it all the way up. I don't understand it. I'm a girl. Bob understands it. It's stressful. They've canceled this guy's pickup 2 or 3 times now, but they finally found someone that's coming to tow us. Should be here in half an hour, because it really freaks me out being stuck here on the freeway and all this traffic on the edge and no more lights, Plus our battery had died from having everything still hooked up to it, so it was seen, because we've been here 6 hours. 6 hours. And he was doing good. He's calm. Now he's all like. So then suddenly it felt very alone. I never realized how unnerving it is to suddenly see your truck pull away, but then realize Bob and Amelia and me.
And our house is still on the interstate.
Our house is still there. So it felt really worried, because one, it looked like an abandoned RV. So is somebody going to stop by and try to do something? To get in the RV, we had to lower the stairs, and the stairs had to go on the guardrail. So the stairs normally go like this. They were like this. So then we had to climb up and get in and out. So we took Amelia inside, and then we had to lock Amelia in the bathroom, because if the slides are in,
She likes to get underneath them.
She's like, look, I'm going in here. You ain't going to get me out. So she's in the bathroom. She's pissed off. She's having a stressful day. We're just not sure what to do. And at this point, I look at my foremost app and it says it's being resent out. So I call them and said, what does this mean? And they said, well, the person we had scheduled to come pick up your RV can't do it. So now we're finding someone else. And then time goes by, and then they said, well, they don't know what a fifth wheel hitch is or something, so they can't do it. So then they schedule a third person, and the third person cancels right away.
Yep.
And then they schedule a fourth person, and they said, don't worry, this person is perfect. This person is coming out, and they will take care of you. Time goes by. Really worried that no one was ever going to come pick us up. So I called the campground, and the campground had been good. They'd been contacting us all day. Are you guys okay? You know, we asked them, is there someone there that could come help us? And they said no. I said, would you know someone that could come tow us? And they recommended Rock Hill Towing.
Yeah.
And we contacted them, and they said they could come, but it's going to be like $1,500 out of pocket, which we had the cash, but we were like, we're supposed to have insurance. Let's just wait it out. We're sure we're going to be okay. I get a call. And I answer it, and it's someone, once again, who does not really speak English very well. So I'm trying to listen to him. I'm actually like walking out of the stairs, trying to really listen to him. And he says to me, so, you know, he's like 2 hours away. I can come. He said, but, and I'm saying it in English so you would understand. So they took your truck away? I said, well, yeah, that was the problem. The truck broke down, so they towed the truck, and now we need you to tow the RV. And he said to me, how can I tow your RV if your truck is gone?
Yeah.
So I said, if my truck was not gone, I would not need you to tow the RV. So at that point, I'm just devastated, and I'm in tears. After this guy totally let us down, and I had to call also Foremost as well, because this guy had never told them he wasn't coming, because it still said he was coming on the app.
Yep.
And that's because he was going to get paid for it and not really do the job.
These Foremost record drivers, I did try to talk to them on the phone too, and tried to explain to them that we have a fifth wheel trailer.
What is that?
But I'm thinking an outfit that's supposed to tow a camper don't know what a damn fifth wheel is. I mean, it was like unbelievable. It was like you couldn't make a better movie out of it. How horrible it was. These people had no idea what we were talking about. And the last guy, we thought, oh, he's going to come and get us. And then he's like, no, I can't tow it because the truck is gone. I'm like, okay, the truck is gone because the truck is broken. I mean, my gosh.
The last note I'll say on Foremost before I contacted the record driver myself personally was to let them know. And I said, look, it's starting to get dark. I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. You know, we're out here on the freeway, and the world is not always perfect and safe like it should be. You know, are we going to be stuck sleeping on this freeway at night? Is there going to be people knocking on the door? Are we going to be murdered in the middle of the night?
Yeah, they kept assuring us, we'll get somebody out there, but we don't know when.
Yeah,
you know, it's dark.
And they said, well, we really can't find anyone. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, I'm really scared. And she said, well, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do. If you're scared, call the cops. And she hangs up on me.
Yeah.
And that's when I really broke down. I'm in tears. I'm crying. He finally says, just call the guy and have him come get us, you know, because it's starting to get dark. So he calls, we call him, and he's a really nice guy. I mean, he came out right away, and he brought his wife with him, but it did take him over an hour to get there. So, this guy is great. We had to contact him ourselves because the insurance company's roadside assistance is shit. They want to hire someone who will tow it for $150, $300. Nobody will tow that for $150, $300 when the going rate is $800 to $1,100 to $1,500, depending on where you are and what time of day it is and the circumstance. Nothing wrong with this, just the truck. So the record driver ended up being really great. They only charged us like $1,094 because they felt super sorry for us. And after 11 hours on the road being stuck, I was really grateful.
Yeah, when this wrecker showed, this was a semi-tractor trailer wrecker, which was, he said, was 41 feet long, and our camper's 44 feet. So we're almost 90 feet going down the road. They hooked us up. He had to put a fifth wheel hitch adapter on to hook us up. It was about 4 miles up to the next exit to turn around to go back toward the KOA. From there, it was about 35 miles to the campground, which to us, it felt like a long ride because we were both tired from being on the road that long.
Yeah.
And all the worries and stuff that come with it.
Exhausted, dehydrated.
The couple in the wrecker, husband and wife, they were super nice. I mean, he had a big back seat, so we were able to all fit there comfortably. And he got us to the campground. And the thing we got to say about the KOA is the couple that managed that park were both communicating with us back and forth as we're going down the road. They were also talking to our driver because he's trying to explain to him that he's 90 feet long, so we need to get into a spot. Either we have to drop us by the fence and let us sit till the next day
And then find someone else.
to try to find somebody to move us into the park, or a spot that he can easily get in and out of, which they accommodated us. They both couples waited for us at the KOA, and when we got there, they had a spot right out front for us so we could get in. Driver was able to drive right in and make a quick drive around and get back out.
Yep.
So we can't say enough about both the wrecker driver couple, both sweet, and the KOA. They were super sweet, and the whole time we were there. And the other thing is that the couple in the wrecker, they talked about full-time RVing, and we said, 5.5 years on the road, we never had any problems. So don't take this as a bad sign that this is what happens. We've had 5.5 great years of RV.
So remember the name, Rock Hill City Ford. If you need any kind of towing at all, they're worth it. Genuine, honest, decent people. And KOA, Journey, Charlotte, and Fort Hill, amazing. Last thing I wanted to share about our experience of just being on the freeway when we were waiting for the real tow guy to show up. Bob had turned on our underground lights. And I don't know if you've ever seen our lights under the camper. They are actually, Bob, how do you say it? You attach them?
They're LED strips that go all the way around the bottom of it, and you can change them to every color you want, or whatever combination, probably 6 million different colors.
Yeah, they don't lay on the ground. They're under the camper attached.
Yeah, they're bolted in. They're actually strip lights.
Yeah, it made people move away because I'm sure lots of little kids said, Santa's sleigh on the side of the road, Daddy, don't hit him. So now comes the big thing you all want to know what happened. The truck is at Rock Hill Ford in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and this is the assessment.
Well, we get a phone call. Our first call to the dealership was, your batteries are bad. $700 for batteries. So I tried to explain to them, these batteries are less than 10 months old.
Yep.
They're AGMs from Walmart. And she said our mechanic tried to charge them and they will not charge. This is when we were getting that big freeze in South Carolina, right in December this year. I told her, I said, well, all I can do is take the batteries to Walmart, which was real close to the dealership. I said, it's 18 degrees out, but I'll get our motorcycle out and I'll ride down and get them. She called me right back and said, well, I can't have you do that. We'll have a courtesy car come pick you up, bring you back to the dealer, grab the batteries, take them to Walmart. So we did that.
Yeah.
We take them to Walmart. They go, there's nothing wrong with them. They need to be charged. They were totally dead. We said, how long? They said 3 hours for the batteries to be charged. Our courtesy driver, she called the dealership, and the dealership said, well, we can charge them. So they take us back to the dealer, which was like 3 miles away. Which she takes us back to the RV, the courtesy driver. Yeah. They call me up and say, the batteries won't charge, they're dead.
New batteries.
So I got flipping mad, and which Bob normally don't, but when the switch gets turned, I become evil person. I'll get on my bike, and it's like 20 degrees at this point. I said, I'll ride down, I'll grab the 2 batteries, I'll take them to Walmart. I take them to Walmart. Later, I take them back to the dealer. We haven't had a problem since.
If you watch our channel, you know Bob. Bob is at Walmart for 4 hours. I'm here working on insurance stuff and dealing with all that, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But I'll say it again, 4 hours.
10,000 steps around Walmart. Next call is, do you put any additive in your fuel? And I said, I have not. In 5 years, we've never put any diesel fuel additive in the truck. He said, well, there's something wrong because I pulled samples and he sent us pictures. It's like
avocado,
not like your light blue diesel fuel. And that's what caused the fuel system to fail. And he says it's got gasoline and water in it. Gonna need the entire fuel system replaced. Tank dropped, cleaned, fuel rails pumped, fuel pump replaced, high pressure fuel pump replaced, and the entire fuel rail replaced at a cost of $16,000.
The fuel system was so shattered.
I've never seen an entire fuel pump explode itself inside. It said it was just blowed up from the amount of gasoline that entered into that fuel rail. If you got a diesel truck, the tolerances on the injectors, the fuel pump are so tight. You're talking tens of thousands of PSI through these little orifices to inject diesel fuel into the cylinders for it to be combusted. Gasoline cannot get in there at all. No dirt can get in there at all. So this caused the entire fuel system to need to be replaced.
And we were lucky that the Ford truck actually has that protection built into it because it forced us to stop. If we hadn't stopped, it was already on fire inside a little bit, but when we stopped, I don't know if it put itself out or it wasn't bad enough, but if we kept going, the whole thing could have exploded.
What caused this problem? My 38 years in the fuel business, and I could talk for hours about what the fuel business and all the problems it have, but what caused this was what they call a cross drop. And what a cross drop is, when a driver makes a mistake, you have 9,000 to 900 gallon tank on these back of these tractor trailer tankers. Most of them got 4 compartments, so they're anywhere from 1,500 to 2,400 gallons. When that driver gets his bill of lading from the rack, when he loads, if he's got unleaded premium diesel fuel, when he gets to the store, he hooks up his hose and he pulls the lever and he drops it. It happens way more than what you'd ever think in the fuel business, where the driver will pull the wrong lever. Unleaded goes into diesel, diesel goes into gas, premium goes into unlead goes, gas goes into kerosene. It's called cross drop, and it happens way more than you think. When it becomes a problem is when the driver knows the problem but doesn't tell anybody, and he just hooks up, gets in his truck, and gets on down the road.
Oops.
If he tells somebody right away, the stores are instructed, shut that product off. They shut the breaker off, lock it, and they bag the pumps. But this is not our case here. We got bad fuel from this Murphy's oil. I wanted to talk to you about December 12th, what fuel we actually had in our truck. At that point, we had a full tank of auxiliary fuel, which sits in the bed of our truck, of Travel Centers of America fuel. What sat in our actual fuel cell on our truck was Travel Centers of America's fuel, but was little under half. So we decided to go to Murphy's to top it off, to fill it up. Up to this point, we had driven that truck 250 miles with no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, we had filled up like 2 weeks prior to that with Travel Centers of America.
Yeah, so we got exactly 58 miles on Murphy oil fuel. Yep.
So for $88 in diesel, this is what happened.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
So the truck goes to the dealership on 12/13. On 12/29, we get to pick our truck up. So we're so excited. We're going to go pick our truck up and drive to Love's and fill up our tank and be so happy.
Yeah.
And then the saga did not end on this test drive. More issues popped up. The original problems we believe are fixed, but now we got more issues.
Yep. So please give this video a thumbs up. Remember to smash up that notification bell. Bob's going to want you to comment.
I want to know, have you ever heard of cross drop? What is your worst problem you've ever had on the road as a full-time RVer? Because by far, this is our worst we've ever had. And we can't even blame our Ford truck for it, because the Ford truck had nothing to do with it. No. It's only drinking what we're giving it.
So guys, remember, we're HetteshWorld.
Come travel. It's still a great world out there. Incredible world.
Bye.